What's up, everybody? As you can see in the background, I have my evidence. Today is the 10th, the 11th, March 11th, 2024, and I woke up in a lot of pain. My shoulder still hurts. I have to do this basically every day to try to snap it back in place. I press down right here because that's the angle that it feels the best, to try to pop everything back in. But I finally, got some assistance though from my medical physician, my medical group, my facility. I'm not gonna say their name because I just, I'm not sure if they would appreciate it, but yeah, they're really cool. The guy's name, the facility, the name of the facility, the guy, the doctor, the main person, the person whose name is on the facility. He looked over at my, I think he looked over my case, my evidence and everything. What my physician told me was that most likely it's just gonna have to be labeled or verified medically as permanent disability, because I mean, if my shoulder's not getting better and hasn't been getting better for the last couple years, what he told me that is probably just gonna have to be permanent disability. And so I was like, oh shit, I was like, fuck, like I was kind of hoping that somebody would fix my arm, because I miss doing everything. I used to be able to do everything. I used to play basketball, football, I used to run, jump. I could lift my arm, obviously, whenever all that, because you have to lift your arm, obviously, to do all those sports. And now my arm doesn't lift, and it hurts and it's weak, and I can't carry more than a gallon, like it's like super weak. And so I was like, okay, that makes sense, finally. So now I might be on permanent disability, but now I have to see how I'm gonna get all the back credits, because for the past couple of years, that I've been denied all the EDD and SSI and disability credits. So now I have to figure out how I'm gonna do all that. Plus, I still filed a complaint, a lawsuit against the public defender. So I got to see what else I have to introduce, or what do I have to do. But I got a letter saying that they acknowledged that I filed a complaint, and they're gonna look into it. If they need anything else, that they were gonna call me. But they left a number also, so I might call that number today to see what's the next step, because I was done dirty, pretty much. I went to jail while I was injured, while I had evidence, while I had things to submit into court to trial, so the judge can take it into consideration. And none of it was taken into consideration. It was all denied. I didn't get a due process. My public defender didn't defend me. Obviously, she didn't do nothing for me. I got arrested. And my daughter still didn't get the funds she needed. She still, if I owed her that money and she needed it, she needs it even more now. I haven't talked to her. They don't let me talk to her. It's a big deal with this visitations and custody. So because for the last couple of years I haven't been paid anything, but because I've been injured. So I'm gonna try to clear this up, see what I can do. But basically, I'm gonna take you guys throughout the day. Take you guys with me, so you can see throughout the day what happens, in my day, like I'm not just doing nothing, I'm out here trying to figure out what's my next step. And right now I'm in a lot of pain. Right now I'm just thinking of going to a local dispensary. My brother left me some money. He told me to get something for him. He's the one that's working, so that's what I'm gonna do. They open now. I'm probably gonna take a dab, and see if that helps out with my pain a little bit. But like I said, it's like this every day now. Like, it doesn't go away. My arm always hurts. It's in a lot of pain. I can't lift it up. And I'm just gonna take you guys with me. Basically, I'm born and raised in Santa Barbara, first generation. My parents are from Mexico. And this is my life. Basically this is how I live. And if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be living in the house right now. She's the greatest, she's the best. I wish I had told her I loved her, that I loved her, a lot more than I did. But sometimes you don't get that opportunity. And so I'm gonna take you guys with me in a day in the life as in Santa Barbara as G Poker 805. And keep in mind, that's not what they call me. I use G Poker 805 because that's my email. Plus, I use that on a couple poker sites. I go by the name as G Poker 805. If you ever see that name playing poker on online poker, that's me probably. I also go by Club Poker 805, and I think that's it. So I have two names that I go by when I play online poker, and so that's basically why put a nickname on my creation. Like every time I create content, I'll put produced by G Poker 805. And so that's basically just my email. I don't call myself that. As a matter of fact, I never really had I had a bunch of nicknames growing up because I'm short, but all the people that called me a different name, they were inmates. So I mean, I don't go by that name. It's just the name the inmates were giving me. It's pretty funny though. Basically, the inmates used to call me Grande. That's grand or large, you know. And because, you know, basically I was the shortest person there, but a lot of people started calling me Grande because I ended up getting in a fight with some guy that was bigger than me, and I don't know how, but you know, the whole reason I went in, though, I shouldn't even have gone in. Basically, I hit some guy in the head with a dumbbell, and the only reason I did that was because he was a trained martial artist. But the guy, what he did to me a while back when I had a girlfriend, you know, was wrong, you know. So he didn't tell me what he was planning on doing. I ended up taking a trip to his brother's house. They told me that his brother had a wife and kids. When we got there, his wife and kids weren't there. Supposedly they had left to go visit the mom, and that was the main reason we had gone to Utah too, was because the guy said he was going to visit his mom, and he had a swimming pool. His brother had a swimming pool that we could have kicked it there for meanwhile everybody was gone. And so what ended up happening is nobody went. The brother's wife wasn't there. He showed us the rooms. There was one room where it looked like everything was being moved. He kept offering his beer, and ultimately what ended up happening is we passed out for 12 hours, but it felt weird. It felt like something had happened, you know. And so it was me, my girlfriend, two guys, and that kept trying to offer us beer, you know. And so if you guys can imagine, you know, one thing that shouldn't have happened, you know, happened. And the next day she had pain in her stomach and I had pain in my shoulder. But I remember, like, months later, I remember my dad came home. He blasted the music all loud in the middle of the night, and I was asleep, but something triggered me. And I remembered, you know, that was the same thing that happened when I was over there at that Food's Brothers pad. They had music loud. I woke up and it sounded like my girlfriend was in the living room. I couldn't get up. It felt all groggy. I ended up putting my arm underneath in a position where like I had all my weight on it, so that in the morning I could remember, you know, or try to remember what was going on. But the next morning I couldn't remember anything. All I could feel was the pain in my arm, and I felt like I had to remember something, but I couldn't. And so time had passed. But long story short, I remembered what happened, and I'm not gonna go into detail, but I do remember trying to get up, trying to go downstairs, them giving me a cup of water, and then I remember, you know, just waking up the next day, you know. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into all the details of that night. But yeah, so yeah, I remembered, and I was like pissed, you know. So what ended up happening, I ended up seeing him again at a party. So he didn't tell me what he planned on doing. I was no longer with with my girlfriend or whatever, and it still hurt, you know. Like it was something that, as a matter of fact, I think I still was with her before that. Yeah, we broke up after, I think, when I was in jail, because I mean I was in there for a year, and she was really pretty, you know. Like, she was short, she was pretty, she had everything, and you know, every guy, you know, even before I met her, you know, was always trying to get her to go dancing with them, go party with them, hang out with them. And so I don't even know how she ended up with me, but yeah, this is another story. But anyways, so yeah, I ended up seeing that guy at a party. My brother saw him too, and he's like, "Hey, look," he's like, "That's that fool that's right there." He's like, "Should we fuck him up?" And I was thinking like, nah, you know, it's not even your pedo, you know, like this, it didn't happen to you, you know, like, don't trip, you know, don't fuck up your life. And so I told him, I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, I'll just stay right here real quick. And so I got up, and he was right there trying to look for him. And I walked around a couple people. I walked around the band. I seen him. He was surrounded by a bunch of people. It was kind of crowded. So what I did is basically I squeezed through. I tapped some fool in the shoulder. He kind of took a left, like he moved his whole shoulder. I squeezed through, took a step in, and then took a side step behind him, and ended up hitting him, you know, because I was like, fuck this fool, you know, like, he didn't tell me what he planned on doing, so I'm not gonna tell him what my plans were, you know. So I just hit him like a soft hit. It was a soft hit, but I was holding a dumbbell, and it was like this distance apart, where I just went like this, like boom, like I just hit him, like I wanted to do that, like a kind of like a slap with the dumbbell. So I slapped him, and that fool fucking made a big old deal. Like, he turned around, he saw me, and then he got scared. He was gonna hit it. I was gonna swing again, so he like kind of ducked. He hit himself on his head on the table. Then he tried to get up, and then he fell on the floor. But like I think he did too much, you know. I think he fucked himself up because like I just slapped him, and I think he fucked himself up. Like when he hit his head on the table, like I'm pretty sure he wanted to duck because like the way he did it, it made it seem like he did it on purpose. So like I hit him, then he turned around, he looked at me, and then he like hit himself on the table, then he fell to the floor, and everybody thought that that I was there welling on him when all I did was like slap him in the face. And so I got hit with assault with a deadly weapon with great bodily injury. But I think my first charges that they said that since I walked into the police department and told everybody, you know, like, hey, I just hit some fool because what he did to me, and I told them exactly how it happened. I think the first charges what they wanted to do was premeditated. They said that I thought about it, that I had time to think about it, that I actually brought a weapon to that party to specifically hit him, and my heart dropped when my public defender, when he told me that over the phone, and I was like, what the fuck, like this is my first offense. I've never done anything before, you know. And then he's like, don't worry though, this is your first offense. He's all, and apart from that, he's all, you walked yourself into the police station, you know. And he's all like, not many people do that. And I was tripping, you know. I was like, damn, you know, my life is over, you know, like premeditated, you know. That's a grade above, you know, assault with a deadly weapon, you know. Like that's another level, you know. And so I was like, fuck, you know, like that sucked. So I had two felonies, strikeable. I think they striked them because I tried to fight it. But in the end, you know, like it was just that, you know, like I just hit some fool that in my head I thought he deserved it. But what ended up happening, I ended up doing a year in county jail. Luckily it didn't take me to prison. I was in the room where everybody was like every other weekend was getting taken on the bus and going to prison. I was with a lot of violent offenders because my crime was considered violent. And, you know, all those people in there were big. You know, there was one guy that was like 6'6" and like a lean fool. He was like kid you not, I don't know if you guys play video games, like RPG games, but it's like he's the type of guy or the type of character that like you would need to get a bunch of people to summon him, because he was one of those elites, you know. Like he was huge, he was muscular, he was not muscular like where it's too much muscle, but like it looked like he could run, he could jump, he could like he was like fast, you know, and muscle. And I was just like in shock because like the first time he came in, we were in the homie tanks because you know that's where I got put in after a bunch of other drama. After being in the medical tank for a couple months, they moved me to the homie tank after getting in a fight. But like that guy scared me. Like that one was all big, and like he stepped in and he put his hand out, right? But like I thought, I don't know what I thought, because like that fool was huge, and so I took a step back. I was like, oh shit. But like he told me like, what's up, you know, like that was what was his name, and like he told me what you know, I told him what my name was, and like I was like, fuck, you know, like fuck, like that fool was huge. But like a lot of people in there, you know, they're a lot bigger than me, but that guy was like, he was out like on the yard, you could tell like he was the one that in charge, you know. It didn't matter what race you were, he was the one in charge, you know. He was the biggest, he was the tallest, and I don't think I've ever seen a guy that big. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he seemed like the character that like you would need a bunch of people to go and like do a ritual and summon him, because like that fool was huge. And so yeah, but like anyways, so I was in there for a good while. I was in there for a year. My first couple of months I was in the medical tank because I don't know if it was overcrowding, but in the medical tank there was different races. There was others, there was whites, there was Mexicans. I think those were the main ones. There was whites and there was Mexicans and there was others. And so long story short, I ended up getting in a fight with my own, but because he started tripping, you know, like he came in, I was eating breakfast, I think I was eating lunch. He came in, he sat in front of me, and he told me what I was in there for or whatever. I told him, and he like, I forgot what he was doing, but like he looked at my food and then tried to like fuck with it, you know. And I looked at him like, what the fuck is this fool doing? And then he's like, fool, you're like a J cat. He's all, me and my homie got locked up together. He's like, and he had barely got there too. It's like they had barely put him in there. We were they had given us lunch, and we got in the line. Everybody's in line. I sat down. He sat down, but it was like he had barely got there. And he's like, yeah, he's like, you're like a J cat fool. He's like, I got locked up with my homies. He's like, when they put him in this tank, we're gonna have to check you. And like the other homies that were there when I first got there, there's homies there. They were like, "What's up, fool? You know, what do you? Let me see your paperwork. You know, we got soups if you got it. You know, what do you run? You know." And like I didn't know anything of that. You know, like of that nature. Like I told them like nothing. You know, like I'm just like nothing. You know. And like later through the month, they told me homeboy came over to me and told me, you know, like it's better to run with somebody than nobody. So I started programming with them. But they that day before, I think, or a couple of days before that the new guy came in, they had rolled out one of their own because he was fucking up, and they had fucked him up. And so they took out most of the homies that had the bloody knuckles or like marks on their knuckles, and they took them out. They were like doing their investigation or whatever that they have to do. And so during that time is when this new homie comes in. I don't know if I was in court or I was in somewhere, but I came back with paperwork. Like I came back with a big old envelope of paperwork, and one of the people told me, I was like wondering like, wait, where's everyone at, you know? And so they told me what had happened, and they had rolled some fool out, and they fucked them up. And so they took everybody out. They were questioning people. I was in there by myself, and this new homie comes in talking about he's gonna check me, right? All right. So if you can imagine, this is a trash can. This was the dining table that they had the inmates in. There's a TV in the day room. The hallway, if you took a left, if you went out the door, took a left, this is where they housed everybody. Then there was the bathroom where they had showers, where you could wash up and take a crap. And then they had this room. Outside of this was the main hallway to go to the other sections of the jail. But when I got housed, so I was in there, and my first altercation happened after the police had rolled out a lot of the homies for getting an altercation with someone else. And I think I went to court. I might have been at court, but I remember I went somewhere to go get my packet. I came back with my packet, and there was like no one was there, you know, like they had told me that they had rolled a bunch of people out. They were checking knuckles and everything. So this day specifically, when I came back, all the homies were out. And lunchtime came. A new inmate had came in. They put him in. He looked Mexican. Pretty much he didn't have a bunk, so they put him in a bunk close to mine. I didn't say much. He didn't say much. We got in line. I got in line. I got my meal. I walked. I got my plate. I walked over here. There's also tables here. There's two main tables, and a dining room table, like where people can come over here too and watch TV. And this is like long. It's not only fit for 8 people. It was like longer than that. I believe there was 2 tables. It was longer than that, but I mean, just for this specific example, I just put 1. And so I came over here. I walked into the day room. I sat in the farthest corner. I basically sat down with my tray. So I was there, right? And then out of nowhere, that new guy, he comes down, and he puts his tray down. He sits right in front of me. Whoops. So he sits right in front of me with this tray, right? And then he reaches over and like tries to take something from my tray, and then I was like, what the fuck? Like I pulled my tray back. I forgot how it happened, but he sat down in front of me. He said something about so you're a homie. And I told him, because at this point, I think I already had my 3 dots in my face, because everybody who was programming, the guy who had the keys, he was basically going to put tats on everybody. So we all had to do it. And I'm not going to say no, I guess. I was the smallest guy there. So anyways, so he basically came up to me, so he told me, so I'm like a homie or whatever. And I told him, yeah, if he needed anything, I got him, I have soups or whatever, if he wanted anything, I was trying to be cool, because I took it in a different way, because I thought that fool was programming too. And then he said something about nah, fool. He's like, me and my homie got locked up together. When he comes into this cell, because we both got locked up together, he's like, once he comes in here, we're gonna check you, And so I looked at him like, what the what the and this one had longer hair, longer curly hair. I remember that. He had longer curly hair. That's right. So he had long curly hair, and he was talking all this crap, right? So I grabbed my tray, and with this hand, I put underneath the tray. This hand, I'm holding onto the tray. So I grab the tray, right? I walk over to the trash can, and I drop the trash can. I drop the tray in the trash can, with my right hand. But as soon as the tray dropped, like as soon as the tray dropped to the inside the into the trash, I swung at that fool because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get jumped, like that's way worse. I've seen people get jumped in there. Like, as a matter of fact, not too long before my incident, there was a guy who had got into the shower. Two inmates got off their bunks. They came in. I don't know what was happening because I was in my bunk, but I hear a bunch of scuffles, and it was like loud thunks, and then it ended up in this room, with both people. One of them, the guy was getting choked out. The guards came in. We got on lockdown, everything, and like it was bad. So like I was like, fuck that, I'm not. If I wait, it's over. Like they had barely rolled out all the homies I was cool with, and here comes some new people that they're pretty much gonna say they're gonna give me hell. So what I did is I dropped the tray in the trash, and then so I dropped it with the trash, and basically with my left hand I swung, and I connected clean right on his cheek, and he kind of stumbled onto this side, right, and he tried to get up. And I swung again, and at that point he grabbed me and he swung me to the third chair where I kind of hit the back of my leg, and I kind of sat down. And for a split second, I thought it's over, that's it. Like, that's it, it's over. Like, there's no way, like, this food, like, basically is gonna get me, like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do anything. Because, I was still the smallest guy there, I'm only 5 feet tall, or 5 feet short, whatever, however you want to say it. The tallest guy in there was like 6'6", maybe even 7 feet. I don't even know, but like that fool was huge. So basically, I got swung over here. I grabbed at that point, I grabbed that fool by the hair because he had me pinned down kind of right here on the chair. So I grabbed him by the hair. He picked me up. He swung me around, and he like pushed me from one side of the room. Like, this was a little bit farther. So he pushed me all the way back. I remember hitting the back of the wall. And then I see him pull his right hand. Like, pull his right hand back, and he's gonna swing, right? So he swings at me. And like, I seen him like pull back his right shoulder, and he's about to swing. And so I duck it. But I think I was holding on to something. I think he had long hair. So like when we both had up, I remember grabbing his hair, and I remember him pushing me all the way back. I hit the wall. I see him pull back his arm. And so since I had his hair and he was going to swing, I moved it, I ducked it. And then I seen like when I ducked it, like when his hand like went around me, it felt like he was gonna grab me and like suplex me, right? So like as soon as he ducked, like something just told me he was gonna do it, and so I jumped. And right, like the moment when I jumped, that fool grabs me and tries to like he wanted to like it did feel like he was gonna try to suplex me. And so what ended up happening, I jumped at the perfect moment when he like grabs me, and so he basically grabs me and hits himself on the face with my knee. He falls back. I fall on top of him. His lip busts open, and everybody, the whole cell, like everybody's like, yeah, go. And everyone's blocking the doors. I hear the keychains, like a bunch of keychains, ching, 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 ching. Everybody on the bunks, lockdown. And like, I was like, damn, like I've never hit anybody that hard before. Like never in my life. But that's because I applied force and he applied force in the same direction, and that's what caused me to connect into his face, a lot harder than I ever would have hit anybody, And so after that point, everybody was like, that's right, grande. And then like people were telling me like, yeah, it's grande right there, this fool don't give a fuck. And like they started giving me respect, and I was like, damn, like this is how you gain respect, like before, like it was weird, like it's weird, people tell you, yeah, you can survive it, it's not no thing, it's just jail, duh. All you gotta do is, don't disrespect. But they don't tell you that most of the things that in there is disrespect, like they test you, like they test you like a motherfucker. Like they could find any excuse, like the guy could be taking a shit, someone else like 2 stalls over could be taking a piss, and if you even think about it, for a couple seconds, like they'll both tell you something. They'll be like, what the fuck, fool? Like, what are you thinking of? Like you want to sit down? Like they take that as disrespect. Like I don't know. It could be any example though. Like an example, you could You could ask for a soup, forget to pay it back, probably not even have the money to pay it back, but it's your ass for asking for that soup. Like there's a lot of things in there that just they're considered like no-nos. Like don't you're not supposed to do that. But there's so much time that you do in there that eventually everybody like fucks up once. Like it's not on purpose, but like there's just something that someone's gonna find disrespectful, and you're gonna end up having to fight, or like it just they don't allow you to fight, that you just get fucked up. So back to my story though. It wasn't over then, like trip out, because like once I was in lockdown, everybody left. Nobody said anything, and I was like, cool. I thought it was gonna be cool. But then one of the blue bands, a couple blue bands, the lifers that are not gonna get out, I got a message or a wheela saying that I took away the recreation for the lifers, and I didn't ask permission. And so I was like tripping out because it was my first time in there, and so I didn't know what that mean, but like they had gotten all the homies out. I just gotten down with the homie, and that fool got, he rolled himself out. He didn't want to be there. And so the majority changed. We were majority in this pod for a while, but then it changed. And so like politics took into effect. I started seeing symbols that I'm not gonna say, but like they let me know, pretty much that I was outnumbered, and that I took a lifer's recreation away. I should have asked permission, and pretty much they're letting me know that my time was gonna come. So I was tripping out. I made friends with the Russian. I told him, hey, if I go to sleep, you think you can watch me, because like I was tripping out. I was tripping out. Like I didn't know the rules. And basically, long story short, I ended up getting rolled out. Somebody said that it was me who got in a fight, that they put the TV back on. They took me out of the pod. They put me to another pod, and basically it was just the same thing. It was just a bunch of violent offenders, because my offense was a violent offense. So I got put with a bunch of homies that were pretty. They're pretty chill. So one guy, without saying any names or anything, but the people I was in with, the one guy accidentally ran over somebody else because he was drunk. I think he killed them. There's another guy who point blank shot someone in the face because he got stabbed in the eye. I think that was gang related. Another guy stabbed someone in the neck because he needed some money, and he thought the other guy had more money, and he didn't have it. He only had like $5-10 on him. And that guy ended up getting a long length of time. But there was like a bunch of people. There's people that was selling guns, arms and guns. People that were just transporting, and then they got caught with like military gear, so it was like extra charges. There was like a bunch of random people, and like I was there because I hit a guy, in the head with the dumbbell, because he did me dirty, and like I felt like I had to do something about it because nobody else was gonna do anything about it. The time had passed. There was no way anybody the justice was gonna catch up to him, and like I just ended up doing it. So yeah, just a little experience of what I went through in jail. I don't recommend anybody going, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. I do YouTube creation now because I can't work. My arm is not going to be considered permanently disabled according to my physician. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get these dabs because see if it helps. There's nothing to do besides try to get this done, and it's still early, so the facilities aren't open yet. And let's see what happens. Let's get this day over with. This is a day in the life as G Poke 805 out here in Santa Barbara, California. Show me some support, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and enjoy the video. I think This garden right here, this front yard. Before all of this was here, before it used to just be a lot of dirt. You know, it was one big old tree. It was like a big old tree that was all the way up, and it was leaning, and it would lean this way. It was like that, and it was leaning on top of the house. So when my mom bought it, she got a good deal. You know, the people were already retiring, they were already leaving. So the lady, that's right, so she was moving. She had a couple houses. My mom got this one for a good price. My mom worked all her life though to save up for it, and so little by little, all of this was dirt. They chopped down that tree. They ended up getting a couple trees, planted a couple trees here, and then the grass started growing. So there's a chirimoya tree, an orange tree, a guayaba tree. What is that again? I forgot what it's called. I think that's wajes. A waje tree, a nectarine tree. There's an avocado tree, a peach tree, and a pomegranate tree, and a couple apple trees too as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and water these plants because they are mine. You know, we did plant them from seeds, so it does take a good effort into growing these things. They are living essence, and you know, I truly take care of these things because you know it's something that my mom, you know, it took her a long time to achieve. You know, this is what she accomplished. You know, this is her property. These are her trees. You know, this is the life that ultimately she left behind, and it's up to us to take care of it. Alright, so I'm just going to do a demonstration of what my arm looks like in the day of today, March 10th, 2024. And as you can see, my arm raises up a lot higher when I point it backwards. For that reason, I'm not sure, but I try pulling it forward and it gets limited. You know, notice my elbow, you know, like the more I want to push it up, the more it looks more crooked, like my arm isn't there. It just, whatever the doctor did to my shoulder, he shaved off a wrong piece of bone, and now my arm doesn't rotate all the way around. And so see, that's the highest I go, but it's pointing like sideways, backwards. When I want to do it straight up, it doesn't do it. It just doesn't want to do it, and my shoulder blade sticks out as soon as I try to lift it up. So like that's the highest it goes, but as you can see, it doesn't. My elbow's not even above my head. It no longer wants to go above my head, and it's shorter, you know. So that's what's going on with me today. My ribs are still messed up, but what I do to help that out, because I try to rotate my ribs back into place, since a heavy load was on my back and it was hanging off my sides, so it kind of rotated all my ribs inwards. And so that's what I do to try to rotate everything back. And little by little, my ribs have been improving, but my shoulder's never going to be the same. And that was altered by the doctor. So I'm just giving you guys a little example of what I do throughout the day, because I am in a lot of pain throughout the day. And there's not one point throughout the day that I don't do something for my ribs or my lower back, or my hips, you know, or my shoulders. Like it's just something that I have to do every day. But back to the wajes, this is what they look like, and this is how I cook them. This is how my mom showed me how to cook them. So basically, you put them in the comal, you turn off the heat, of course. Don't open them because it's going to be used as a steamer pretty much. So everything's going to bubble up, it's going to fluff up, and you could eat it like that, and they basically taste like seeds. They're waje seeds. And let me try to fast forward it, but see how they're trying to puff up. This is the sound it makes. Alright, so what I learned is that these things is full of iron, which boosts your immune system and fights anemia. The guajes also is fully packed with proteins. As a matter of fact, it has 30% more than your recommended intake. So you're not eating these to get full, you know, you're not eating this for a meal. You're basically just getting it for the nutrients, for the proteins and the iron, and to soothe your indigestions, you know. Some say that it also has the potential to reduce respiratory irritations. So not bad, you know. They taste kind of like what do you call it? Regular sesame seeds. I didn't research the background to the nutrition to it, but it's not bad, you know. We've had that tree growing forever, so you know, every now and then I'll pick off of it. But yeah, what I do is I steam it. You can put it in soups too. If you do like you know, any soup, really, you just put them in there and they'll steam in there and they'll cook, you know. It doesn't have a weird taste. It tastes like seeds, you know, pretty much. I don't know how to explain it, you know. It just tastes like seeds. All right, so I was just hoping for some good news because I had filed a complaint. But apparently I owe Chase also, so that went down right now. I just made an appointment to try to pay them, and now I gotta figure out how do I get disability. How do I get disability, basically. So with that being said, day's still rolling. I already watered the plants. I was expecting a call. I reread the email. I'll show you what that looks like. But it basically says they're gonna look into it, and if I have more questions on the progress, to call that number. But I just want to show my evidence. As you can see, I've been trying to show it everywhere on my Facebook, on my YouTube, you know, outside of court. I just basically want them to see it, and so they can see that, like, I'm not messing around. You know, my shoulder got messed up due to surgery, and that's why I couldn't pay. You know, I wasn't avoiding payments. I shouldn't have been arrested. I should have been excluded or time extended. And now I want justice. You know, like I don't want to pay $9,000. That's for sure. I don't want to pay $9,000 to their lawyer, to the doctor's lawyer, for the legal fees for filing the lawsuit. I'm not gonna pay that because I know that I'm messed up, and the doctor what do you call it? He pretty much looked out for him. You know, he delayed my prognosis, my treatment, everything, and nothing got done, and my injuries still remain. So, with that being said, I guess I just have to wait and see. I'm not a good drawer, but yeah, that's what I've been going through. And there's the time right there. It's 1:49. It's Monday. I'm hoping for a call about the complaint that I made so that I can finally show my evidence to somebody, get some justice, you know, make some payments, you know, because I can't. I've tried doing DoorDash, but it hurts, you know, like, yeah, I can make the payments, but I'm in pain and I don't have any money for me, you know, like I don't have any money left over for nothing, you know, like for gas, you know. The times that I did play poker, it was off of poker, you know. I don't like just wasting money. Like if I'm down $200, that's it, I'll quit. But like, let's say I'm up 1,800 and I participate in a couple tournaments and lose those tournaments. As long as I make a couple payments, I feel like I still win, you know. So I mean, that's why I haven't been playing poker, because I haven't been making any money. I haven't been playing. But yeah, trying to figure this out. So that's what I've been going through lately. And you know, I'm gonna try to hit you guys with some good, cool content. I do live in Santa Barbara, so I can show you guys what that looks like around here. Go to the museum, go to the beach. You know, it's almost spring break, so let me show you guys what that looks like. You know, might as well. You know, this is Santa Barbara, California. This is how, you know, it's a day in my life as a Jeep Oak 805. So check it out.